Hey Reddit, this is probably going to be a long one, so I'll break it into parts. I am still processing everything that happened, and writing this out helps me think through it all. Names changed for obvious reasons. My wife Lisa and I have been married for 4 years. We both from a small town in East Texas, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone and military service runs in families. Lisa's been in the Army for 6 years now, currently a sergeant, and I've always been proud of her dedication. I work as a mechanic at the local auto shop. Nothing glamorous, but it pays the bills. 3 months ago, Lisa got orders for a special assignment in Germany. It was supposed to be a career-boosting opportunity, working with NATO allies on some logistics coordination project. The deployment was set for 4 months, which isn't the longest we been apart, but it still sucked. We done shorter separations before during her training exercises, and we always made it work. The weeks leading up to her departure were normal. We talked about video calls, care packages, and what we do when she got back. I was planning to use the time to finally finish the bathroom renovation and maybe surprise her with a few other home improvements she been wanting. Lisa seemed excited about the assignment but also sad to leave. Everything felt normal. When she left, I threw myself into keeping busy. I work long hours anyway, but I started taking on extra projects around the house. Fixed the leaky faucet in the kitchen, painted the spare bedroom, organized the garage. Staying busy helped with missing her, and I wanted everything to be perfect when she came home. The first few weeks of communication were pretty standard. We text throughout the day when possible, had a few video calls, the usual "I miss you" stuff. But then things started to change. The calls became less frequent. Her texts got shorter. When I asked about her day or the people she was working with, her answers became vague. How's the project going? Fine, just busy. Meet any interesting people on your team? Not really, just focused on work. When can we video chat next? Schedule's crazy. Maybe this weekend. I figured it was just the nature of military assignments. Sometimes communications get restricted, schedules get intense, and you're just too exhausted to have long conversations. I've been through this before with her other deployments, but something felt different this time, though I couldn't put my finger on what exactly. About 6 weeks into Lisa's deployment, I started noticing things that didn't add up. Small stuff at first, but it kept piling up. Our joint bank account showed some weird charges. A hotel in Munich, but Lisa had told me she was stationed near Frankfurt. When I asked her about it, she said it was a work conference and seemed irritated that I was checking the account. Fair enough, I thought. Maybe I was being paranoid. Then there were the photos. Lisa used to send me pictures of her meals, her barracks room, random stuff from her day. Suddenly, those stopped. When she did send photos, they were always just selfies. Never any background, never showing where she was or what she was doing. And in the few she sent, she looked different. Happier maybe? Like she was glowing. I told myself I was reading too much into it. The communication thing got worse. We went from texting throughout the day to maybe 3 or 4 messages total. Always the same pattern. Good morning babe, busy day ahead. Very tired, going to bed early. Can talk much? Spotty connection. Love you. When I tried calling, she'd either not answer or pick up for maybe 2 minutes before saying she had to go. The few video calls we managed, she seemed distracted, like she was somewhere she shouldn't be taking a call. Once I swear I heard someone else in the background. A man's voice, but when I asked about it, she said it was just the TV. I started feeling crazy. Was I being a paranoid husband, or were these legitimate red flags? I talked to my buddy Mike from work, but he just said deployment stress was normal and I should give her space. Easy for him to say. His wife works at the bank down the street. Around week 8, I found something that really bothered me. Lisa had left her laptop at home, and I needed to print some insurance documents. When I opened it up, her Facebook was still logged in. I wasn't trying to snoop, but I saw she been active recently, posting photos, commenting on stuff. Photos I never seen. There was one of her at some German restaurant, clearly taken by someone else based on the angle. She was dressed up, hair done nice, looking beautiful. But she never mentioned going out to eat anywhere, and definitely never sent me that picture. The comments on her posts were mostly from family and friends back home, but there were a few from people I didn't recognize. Military profiles, looked like guys from her unit maybe. Nothing inappropriate in the comments themselves, but just, why was she posting photos for everyone else but barely communicating with me? I closed the laptop and tried to push it out of my mind. I was probably overthinking everything. Deployment is hard on everyone, and maybe she was just trying to stay positive and social with her team while dealing with missing home. That's what I told myself anyway. But the doubt was there now, sitting in the back of my mind like a splinter I couldn't dig out. Week 10 was when everything started unraveling. I was doing our monthly budget review when I noticed more charges that didn't make sense. 2 different restaurants in the same evening, expensive places. A charge at some boutique clothing store. When Lisa and I talked about money before she left, we agreed she'd be saving most of her deployment pay since all her basics were covered. These weren't basic needs purchases. I decided to ask her directly. During one of our rare phone calls, I brought up the restaurant charges. Hey babe, saw you went to some nice places for dinner. The team must be treating you well. There was this pause. Too long of a pause. Oh, yeah, just some work dinners. You know how it is. But her voice sounded off. Defensive. Lisa's always been a terrible liar. One of the things I actually loved about her. She gets this specific tone when she's not being truthful, and I was hearing it loud and clear. Both places on the same night though? Must have been quite a work dinner. Tom, why are you checking up on me like this? Don, you trust me? And there it was. She flipped it back on me, made me the bad guy for asking a simple question about charges on our account. That's when I knew something was seriously wrong. The next day, I called my buddy Jake who gotten out of the army 2 years ago. Jake's always been straight with me, no bullshit. I told him what was going on. The weird charges, the communication changes, the defensive behavior. Man, he said, that sounds familiar. You remember my deployment to Afghanistan? Same shit happened with my ex-wife. The distance, the excuses, the attitude change. What are you saying? I am saying maybe you should find out what's really going on over there. You got any contacts in her unit? I didn't, but Jake did. He knew a guy who knew a guy. You know how military networks work. Jake said he'd make some calls, just to see if everything was on the up and up. I felt sick asking him to do it, like I was betraying Lisa somehow. But I also felt like she already betrayed me. 3 days later, Jake called me back. Tom, you need to sit down for this. My heart dropped into my stomach. She's not at the base most nights, man. My contact says she's been staying off base regularly. And there's talk. What kind of talk? About her and some staff sergeant named Rodriguez. They been seen around town together. A lot. Like, couple shit. Restaurants, shopping, walking around holding hands. I felt like I was going to throw up. I sat there on my couch. The same couch where Lisa and I used to watch movies together. And everything just crashed down on me. You sure about this? I am sorry, brother. But yeah, my guy's reliable, and he's not the type to spread rumors. He's seen them together multiple times. After I hung up, I just sat there for hours. Part of me wanted to call Lisa immediately and confront her. Part of me hoped Jake's contact was wrong. But deep down, I knew. All those little details finally made sense. After Jake's bombshell, I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. I needed to know the full extent of what was happening. Call it morbid curiosity or just needing closure, but I had to see how deep this rabbit hole went. I started paying closer attention to everything. credit card statements, phone records, we on the same plan, social media activity. What I found made me sick. The hotel charges weren't just occasional work conferences. They were regular, almost every weekend. Always the same hotel in Munich, always 2 nights. And here's the kicker. I cross-referenced the dates with Lisa. Can talk tonight? Exhausted messages. Every single hotel stay lined up perfectly with nights she was too tired to call home. Jake's contact came through with more information. Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, Miguel Rodriguez, was also married. His wife was back in Colorado, and apparently had no idea either. My buddy found Rodriguez's Instagram account. The guy had photos going back months, including several from Germany. And there, in the background of one photo at a beer garden, was my wife. Laughing, sitting close to him. Looking happier than I'd seen her in years. But the worst part? Jake's contact sent me screenshots of some Facebook posts from other soldiers in their unit. Apparently, Lisa and Rodriguez weren't being subtle about their relationship. There were comments joking about them being inseparable and the deployment couple. Everyone knew. Everyone except me and Rodriguez's wife back home. I felt like the biggest fool in Texas. How many people were laughing behind my back? How many times had Lisa gotten off the phone with me just to go be with this other guy? I started documenting everything. Screenshots, bank statements, hotel receipts. I knew I'd need evidence for the divorce. Because at this point, there was no question we were getting divorced. The Lisa I married wouldn't do this. This person who been lying to my face for months wasn't someone I even recognized. 2 weeks before Lisa was supposed to come home, she called me with great news. Tom, I might be able to extend my deployment for another 2 months. There's this amazing opportunity to work on a new project, and it would be incredible for my career. My blood went cold. She wanted to stay longer. To be with him longer. What kind of project? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Oh, just more logistics coordination stuff. Nothing too exciting, but really good experience. More lies. So many lies. That's great, babe. Really great for your career. I couldn't believe I was playing along, but I wasn't ready to confront her yet. I needed her to come home first. I needed to see her face when I told her what I knew. I knew you understand. You always so supportive. Supportive, right. While I was being supportive, she was playing house with another man. After that call, I made a decision. I stopped all the home improvement projects. Why was I killing myself to make things perfect for someone who was betraying me? I started seeing a lawyer instead. Got my finances in order. Prepared for war. Jake's contact sent me one final piece of intel the week before Lisa's return. Apparently, Rodriguez and Lisa had been talking about him getting stationed somewhere near Texas so they could figure things out. They were making plans for a future together. Meanwhile, she was still texting me, "Love you," every night. I felt dead inside. 4 years of marriage, and I was just disposable to her. Lisa came home on a Thursday afternoon. I took the day off work, not because I was excited to see her, but because I needed time to prepare myself mentally for what was about to happen. She texted me from the airport. "Can't wait to see you. Miss you so much." Even knowing everything I knew, that text still hurt. How could she type those words after spending months with another man? When she walked through the front door, rolling her suitcase behind her, I was sitting on the couch. The same couch where I'd gotten the phone call from Jake that confirmed my worst fears. She looked good, tanned, fit, happy. Happier than she looked in years, actually. "Tom." She dropped her bag and came over to hug me. I stood up but didn't move toward her. "Welcome home, Lisa." She paused, maybe noticing my tone or body language. "Everything okay? You seem off." "Do I? Weird. I wonder why that might be. What's that supposed to mean?" I walked over to the kitchen table where I laid out printed copies of everything. Bank statements with the hotel charges highlighted. Screenshots of Rodriguez's Instagram. Photos of them together that Jake's contact had sent me. The evidence of her betrayal spread out like a crime scene. Why don't you tell me about your deployment, Lisa? Really tell me. Starting with Staff Sergeant Miguel Rodriguez. Her face went white, then red, then white again. Tom, I can explain. Explain what? Explain the hotel stays every weekend? Explain why you've been living with another man for 4 months. Explain why you wanted to extend your deployment to stay with him longer. She was quiet for a long moment, staring at the papers on the table. When she finally looked up at me, I expected shame, remorse, maybe tears. Instead, I saw anger. You had me investigated? You had people spying on me? I couldn't believe it. That's what you upset about. Not the cheating, but the fact that I found out about it. I wasn't cheating. Miguel and it's complicated. You wouldn't understand. Try me. You want to know the truth? Fine. Yes, I've been seeing Miguel. But it's not what you think. We connected in a way that you and I never have. It's not just physical, Tom. It's emotional, intellectual. He gets me. Every word was like a knife in my chest, but I kept my voice steady. So you've been having an affair for months. It's not an affair. What Miguel and I have is real. What you and I have. We've been going through the motions for years, Tom. Be honest with yourself. And there it was. She wasn't sorry. She wasn't apologetic. She was justifying it, making it my fault somehow. So our 4-year marriage was just going through the motions. Don't be dramatic. We got married young. We've grown apart. It happens. At least I found someone who actually appreciates me instead of just taking me for granted. Taking her for granted? I spent months renovating our house, working extra hours to save money, supporting her career, missing her every single day while she was off playing house with another man. Lisa, you lied to me every single day for 4 months. You made me feel crazy for noticing things were off. You spent our money on dates with another man. How is any of that my fault? Because you never made me feel special. When's the last time you took me somewhere nice? When's the last time you planned something romantic? Miguel makes me feel alive again. I stared at this woman I'd been married to for 4 years and realized I didn't know her at all. The Lisa I'd married would never have said these things. This person was a stranger. So what now? I asked. I don't know. Miguel's trying to get stationed somewhere closer to Texas. Maybe we can figure something out. Figure something out? Lisa, you remarried. To me, marriages end, Tom. People grow apart. It's not the end of the world. Just like that, 4 years dismissed like it meant nothing. After that confrontation, Lisa stayed in our house for exactly 3 more days. 3 days of the most uncomfortable, hostile atmosphere you can imagine. She slept in the spare bedroom and acted like I was the one who done something wrong. On Saturday morning, I woke up to find her packing her bags. I am going to stay with my sister in Dallas for a while, she announced. I need space to think. Space to think about what? Whether cheating on your husband was wrong. Space to figure out what I want to do with my life, Tom. This marriage has been over for a long time. We both know it. No, Lisa, you decided it was over when you started fucking another man. Don't speak for me. She actually rolled her eyes at that. Like I was being unreasonable. I'll be in touch about logistics, divorce papers and all that. And just like that, she was gone. 4 years of marriage ended with logistics. But here's where it gets really good. Reddit. 2 days after she left, I got a call from my bank. Someone had tried to withdraw $8,000 from our joint savings account. The transaction was flagged because it was unusual activity. I checked our accounts immediately. Lisa had cleaned out our checking account the morning she left. About $3,500. Money I'd been saving while she was deployed. Money that was supposed to go toward paying off her car loan. When I called her about it, she was defensive as usual. It's my money too, Tom. I earned it. You earned it while you were cheating on me with another man. That's completely separate. I am entitled to half of our assets. Entitled. That word really summed up Lisa perfectly. I immediately went to the bank and removed her access to our accounts. I also called my lawyer, the one I'd been consulting with for weeks while she was playing house in Germany. He said we needed to file immediately before she could do more financial damage. Here's what I found out during the divorce proceedings that really blew my mind. Lisa had been planning this for months. She'd been researching Texas divorce law, looking into apartments in Dallas, even updating her resume. This wasn't some spontaneous affair that got out of hand. This was a calculated exit strategy. She wanted spousal support. Can you believe that? She cheated on me for months, stole money from our accounts, and then wanted me to pay her monthly support because she gave up career opportunities during our marriage. My lawyer laughed when he saw the evidence I compiled. Hotel receipts, bank statements, witness testimony from Jake's military contact. Even some text messages between Lisa and Rodriguez that Jake had managed to get copies of. Don't ask me how. This is adultery with clear evidence, he told me. In Texas, that matters. She's not getting spousal support, and she's definitely not getting half the assets. But Lisa's lawyer must have told her the same thing, because suddenly she changed tactics. She started claiming that I was emotionally abusive and had driven her to seek comfort elsewhere. Emotional abuse. Because I worked long hours to support us and spent my free time improving our house while she was off with another man. The final hearing was brutal. Lisa sat there in a dress I'd never seen before, probably bought with Rodriguez's money, and played the victim. She talked about how isolating our small town was, how I never supported her dreams, how she felt trapped in the relationship. My lawyer destroyed her testimony with the evidence. The judge wasn't buying her sob story when faced with months of documented adultery and financial deception. In the end, I kept the house, which was mostly in my name anyway since I put down the down payment. She got her car and her personal belongings. No spousal support. She was also ordered to pay back the money she'd taken from our accounts. The cherry on top? During the proceedings, I found out that Rodriguez's wife had also filed for divorce and was taking him to the cleaners in Colorado. Apparently, their true love wasn't looking so appealing when it came with serious financial consequences for both of them. The divorce was finalized 4 months ago. Lisa moved to Dallas and, as far as I know, Rodriguez got stationed somewhere in California. Their great love story apparently couldn't survive the reality of 2 messy divorces and the financial aftermath of their choices. I found this out through Jake, whose military contacts keep him informed about base gossip. Turns out Rodriguez's ex-wife took him for everything she could legally get. Child support, spousal support, half his retirement, the works. Lisa's Prince Charming is now a broke staff sergeant living in base housing and driving a 10-year-old Honda. Meanwhile, Lisa's been working at some corporate job in Dallas and living in a studio apartment. Her sister told my cousin, Small Town Networks, "You know how it is," that Lisa's been struggling financially and really regrets how things ended. Regrets how things ended. Not regrets cheating, lying, or stealing. Just regrets that her plan didn't work out better for her. But here's the kicker, Reddit. Last month, Lisa called me, out of the blue, after months of no contact except through lawyers. "Tom, it's me, Lisa." I almost hung up, but curiosity got the better of me. "What do you want, Lisa?" I wanted to talk. About us. About what happened. What about it? I think I made a mistake. A huge mistake. Miguel and it didn't work out. And I've been thinking about our marriage, about what we had. I sat there in my kitchen. The same kitchen where I discovered her betrayal. and listened to my ex-wife try to rewrite history again. We had something real, Tom. Something solid. I got caught up in the excitement of something new, but what we had was real love. The kind that lasts. Lisa, you told me our marriage was going through the motions. You said Miguel got you in ways I never could. I was confused. I was caught up in the moment. But being away from you, being divorced, I realized what I lost. What you lost. You didn't lose anything, Lisa. You threw it away. You chose to throw it away every single day for 4 months. People make mistakes, Tom. Can we try to work through this? We were good together for 4 years. And there it was. She wanted to come back. Not because she was sorry, not because she understood the pain she caused, but because her plan B had fallen through and she was tired of struggling financially. Lisa, let me ask you something. If Rodriguez had gotten that assignment near Texas, if his divorce had gone smoother, if everything had worked out perfectly for you two, would you be calling me right now? Silence. That's what I thought. Tom, please. I know I hurt you, but no, Lisa, you didn't just hurt me. You destroyed me. You made me question my sanity for months. You stole money from our accounts. You lied to my face every single day. And when I confronted you about it, you blamed me for your choices. I was angry. People say things when they angry. No, Lisa, angry people say mean things. Manipulative people blame others for their own actions. There's a difference. I could hear her crying on the other end of the phone, but I felt nothing. The man who would have done anything to comfort her, who spent months working on our house while she was with another man, that man was gone. I am sorry, Tom. I am really, truly sorry. I believe you, sorry, Lisa. You, sorry you got caught. You, sorry your plan didn't work. You, sorry you, struggling financially. But you, not sorry for what you did to me, because if you were, you would have called to apologize months ago, not to ask for a second chance. I hung up after that. She tried calling back twice, but I didn't answer. It's been 6 weeks since that call, and I am doing okay. Better than okay, actually. I finished all those home improvement projects, for myself, not for anyone else. I've been dating someone new. A teacher from the next town over who's never been married and doesn't have any military connections. She's kind, honest, and when she says she's going to call, she calls. The house feels like mine now instead of ours. I rearranged the furniture, painted the bedroom, bought new sheets. Erased the physical reminders of Lisa and our marriage. The emotional ones are harder to erase, but they fading too. To anyone going through something similar, trust your gut. Those red flags you seeing Aaron paranoia. They warnings. Document everything. Get a good lawyer. And remember that someone who truly loves you won't put you in a position where you have to question their loyalty. Lisa taught me what I don't want in a partner. And for that lesson, as painful as it was, I am almost grateful. Thank you all for watching this story. Subscribe to the channel. Videos are released every day.